My fiancée sneered, "I'll forget you in a week." She humiliated me in front of her family. I took the ring back. She went nuclear. All right, Reddit. My fiancée cheated, shamed me publicly, then claimed she'd move on in days. Grab popcorn, it's a wild ride. I'm Ethan Caldwell, 32, male, from Pittsburgh. 3 years of my life burned down over a Sunday dinner. But honestly, it's the best thing that happened. You'll see why. I rebuild heavy equipment for a living. Caterpillar excavators, John Deere beasts, anything with hydraulics and horsepower to level a city block. There's a quiet pride in taking a machine from scrap to purring perfection. My shop sits between two bridges on the Monongahela River, where the water's muddy brown and the air smells of steel and diesel. Lunch break, I sit on a rusted bench by the river, watching coal barges slog past, eating my usual, turkey, Swiss, apple, black coffee in a beat-up thermos. My supervisor, Jake, ribs me, says I'm the only guy under 40 with a thermos. Guilty as charged. Tuesday and Thursday nights, I train at Markoff's Boxing Club on the south side. It's an old-school gym, faded paint, cracked linoleum, the air thick with leather and sweat soaked into the walls for decades. Coach Markoff, a wiry Russian with a limp, corrects my form with a tap of his walking stick or a grunt. Words are for suckers, results are what count. But the heart of this story is my project car, a 1973 Dodge Challenger. I found it in a Washington County field, a rusted husk with a numbers-matching 340 small block still clinging to life. The frame was solid, a miracle under the surface cancer. For 2.5 years, I've been coaxing it back from the dead. I'm torn between keeping the original TorqueFlite automatic or swapping a Tremec 5-speed for that raw, manual control. Purists would clutch their pearls, but it's my car, my rules. My best friend, Ryan Miller, thinks I'm insane for a frame-off restoration while planning a wedding. We served in the National Guard together, bonded over long nights in the desert swapping stories about cars and bad decisions. Now he runs a security systems business, obsessed with cameras, keypads, and control. He's the MVP here, so keep an eye on Ryan. After his divorce 2 years ago, he drilled one lesson into me: document everything. Memories fade, receipts don't lie, he says, half joking, half deadly serious. Smart man. Claire Bennett and I got engaged last February, agreeing to split wedding costs 50/50. I saved the text thread, February 12th, her exact words, "Makes sense. We're both adults with jobs." I tracked every penny. Venue deposit, $2,800, I paid, sent her the receipt, asked for her half. 3 weeks later, she sent $1,400, blaming a delayed real estate commission. Her income was unpredictable, so I let it slide. Wrong move. Caterer needed $2,200 upfront, same story. I paid, she sent $800, promised the rest next week. The red flag I ignored, her Instagram. Stories from upscale restaurants, weekend girls' trips, designer purses, spa days, concert tickets. Yet she was perpetually broke for wedding costs we'd agreed to split. I didn't push, didn't want drama with my future wife. But I kept receipts, digital and paper, in a folder labeled "Wedding." In diesel repair, problems are honest. Diagnose the fault, order parts, fix it, move on. People? They hide their cracks. Claire treated our wedding like her personal Oscar ceremony. 3 Pinterest boards, vendor spreadsheets, a planning binder thicker than a carburetor manual. Centerpieces and invitation fonts were life or death. I handled payments while our savings bled, and she obsessed over aesthetics. She pushed for a fancier venue, more guests, people will judge us if we cheap out. When I said we'd hit our budget ceiling, she suggested overtime or selling the Challenger for what really matters. The car I'd poured my soul into was, to her, a piggy bank to smash. Tuesday, she announced, not asked, her family wanted us for Sunday dinner to finalize wedding plans. I said I'd be there at 3 p.m., after installing Challenger suspension bushings. She rolled her eyes, said I prioritized my hobby over family. I explained precision suspension can't be rushed without risking failure. Her reply, maybe you shouldn't waste money on a rust bucket. Planning ahead was a flaw, apparently. In equipment diagnostics, you watch for subtle signs, odd vibrations, pressure drops, to avoid catastrophic failure. I should have applied that to Claire. The warning signs were there, her evasiveness, the late-night phone scrolling, the sudden work trips. I learned the hard way. Sunday, I arrived at Claire's parents' house at 3 p.m. sharp. I'd spent the morning pressing control arm bushings, hands scrubbed with pumice soap until my knuckles were raw, nails wire brushed clean. The house smelled of grilled steak and pretension. Claire's sister Emily was there with her husband, her dad at the backyard grill, her mom orchestrating the kitchen like a drill sergeant. The first hour was small talk, weather, work, holiday plans. Claire kept checking her phone, smiling at texts, dodging questions about my job or the Challenger. Her mom asked about my shop, and Claire cut in with, "Oh, he's always greasy, tinkering with junk." I let it slide. Red flags are clearer in hindsight. The shift hit when Emily asked about honeymoon plans. Claire launched into a fantasy of upgraded resort packages, first-class flights, a Maldives overwater bungalow, none of which we discussed. Then she pivoted. "Some people aren't stepping up financially for our shared dreams." Her eyes locked on me, cold as a torque wrench. Then came the demolition. My hobby car was a money pit dragging down our future. If I had real ambition instead of settling for mediocrity, we could afford the wedding she deserved. My job was fine for someone without goals. My rented house was embarrassing to bring clients to. My routine, boxing, work, car, was suffocating. My friends were losers going nowhere. Emily laughed nervously. Her mom nodded like she'd rehearsed this. It was a coordinated hit. Claire wasn't done. She dropped Nathan Reed, not a friend, but someone with ambition. He took her to places that matter, showed her real chemistry. They'd been connecting for months. Her family nodded like they'd heard it before. They were complicit. Her dad stopped flipping steaks. Emily froze in the doorway, fake scrolling her phone. The room buzzed with pre-explosion tension. Claire twisted off the engagement ring and threw it at me, not handed, threw. It hit my chest, clattered across the hardwood with a sharp metallic ping. "Real classy exit," she sneered. "It's cheap anyway, like everything about you." To her family, "Did you know he got this at a discount store? Nathan would never be so cheap." The silence was deafening, broken only by her monologue. 3 years wasted on someone who thinks fixing trucks is a career and garage weekends are a life. I deserve better. I'll forget you in a week. I'm already halfway there. Reddit, a strange calm hit me. Not rage, not pain, just clarity. She'd shown her true face, and it was ugly. I stood, walked to the ring, white gold, quarter-carat diamond, for months of overtime savings from a reputable jeweler. Not lavish, but honest, like me. I slipped it into my pocket, pulled her spare house key off my keychain, and handed it to her dad. "Thanks for dinner, Mr. Bennett." No defense, no corrections about the ring or her lies. Why argue with someone who'd planned your public execution? I walked through the dining room, her family staring at their plates like cowards. At the door, I texted Ryan, implemented. His Silverado pulled up as I hit the driveway. We'd planned for this. Ryan's divorce taught us to expect betrayal. He didn't ask questions, just nodded to the passenger seat. "Well," he said, pulling onto the main road, "shortest Sunday dinner or fastest breakup in history." My phone buzzed with Claire's texts, but I ignored them. No point diving into her noise while my head was hot. The 12-minute drive home was for lists, change locks, secure banking, update work contacts, cancel vendors. Practical over emotional. What burned me wasn't just the cheating, it was her using our joint account to fund her affair, then calling me cheap in front of her family. The manipulation was Oscar-worthy. Update 1. Monday, 6 a.m., new locks. Not just codes, I installed a Schlage Grade 1 deadbolt, Ryan's recommendation from his security gigs. 45 minutes, $68 at Home Depot. Old hardware went into my toolbox for spares. Claire texted 18 times Sunday night, called 11 times by 7 a.m. Monday. I screenshotted every message, then blocked her. Started with fake apologies, "I didn't mean it like that." Escalated to rage, "You can't ignore me." Threats about grabbing her stuff sprinkled in. "I'll forget you in a week," turned into obsessive texting overnight. Work was my anchor, rebuilt an injector pump on a 2019 Caterpillar 329, the kind of machine that could dig a foundation in hours. Lunch break, I updated my HR file, removed Claire from emergency contacts, insurance, retirement. Ryan became primary contact, my brother backup. Monday night, the audit began. Joint checking, $3,847.32. Joint savings, $12,223.18. Shared subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, gym. Downloaded 12 months of statements, screenshotted everything, flagged what I could change alone versus what needed dual signatures. Wedding vendors were a maze. I organized contracts, payment schedules, cancellation policies in manila folders. Caterer, 2-week policy, 60% refund on $2,200, $1, $320 back. Venue, 30 days, notice, deposit minus $350 fee. DJ, 10-day policy, full refund if over 2 weeks out. Found Claire's February text, makes sense. We're both adults with jobs. Screenshot saved, timestamp bold. Started an incident log in a spiral notebook, date, time, contact details. October 23, 6:22 p.m., phone call, blocked number, didn't answer. Factual, no fluff. Tuesday at boxing, Coach Markov tapped my shoulder, pull punch too fast. Follow through, then guard. My timing was sloppy, Claire's chaos was creeping in. Wednesday, Ryan brought storage bins and his label printer. We scoured the house, Claire's clothes in the closet, toiletries, 15 books, a lucky mug, an ugly throw pillow. 3 years, 2 boxes. Her investment was shallow as a kiddie pool. Each item photographed, logged on a list. No room for, that's mine, arguments later. Ryan built a Google spreadsheet for wedding expenses, vendor contacts, cancellation deadlines in red, refund percentages auto-calculated. His security brain loves clean systems. The Challenger was my therapy. Tore down the interior, bench seat, door panels, dash, carpet, headliner, each piece labeled with masking tape, stored in the spare bedroom. The wiring harness was shot, brittle insulation, corroded connectors. Brake lines needed inspection for pitting. Ordered an Edelbrock intake manifold, MSD ignition, seat covers. Progress on something mine felt like reclaiming my soul. By Friday, I had control. Claire's access cut from everything I could manage solo. Documents organized, deadlines flagged. Her stuff boxed, ready. New locks, logs started, accounts locked down. The wedding was 6 weeks out, vendor policies favored quick action. 3 years unraveled, but financial damage was containable with discipline, not drama. Update 2. Tuesday, 6:30 a.m., vendor calls. Venue coordinator answered second ring. I cited section 4.2, 30-day cancellation clause, gave the booking reference, requested written confirmation. 3-minute hold, got a cancellation number, refund minus $350 in 7 to 10 days. Caterer, 2-week window, 60% refund on $2,200, $1, $320 back. Owner wanted written cancellation, I emailed with contract details, phone notes. DJ, full refund if over 7 days out. Quick call, done. Logged every call, date, time, contact, confirmation numbers, refund amounts. By work, 6 vendors canceled, 2 more for lunch. Refunds hit my account since I paid. Being the cheap guy who pays has upsides. Thursday, the ring. Morrison's fine jewelry in Shadyside appraised it in 8 minutes, checked the diamond grade, offered 65% of retail, $1, $680. Fair for a clean sale. Enough for a Challenger suspension rebuild kit, wiring tools, interior hardware. Trash took itself out and funded my project. Small claims paperwork was tedious. Pennsylvania's online forms are clear, but I needed precision. Claim, Claire owed $1,247 for non-refundable wedding costs. Printed her February text, highlighted, makes sense. We're both adults with jobs. Added receipts, venue fee, $350, photographer, $420, smaller charges. Ryan reviewed, organized evidence chronologically with dividers, like a legal sniper. Filing fee, $78, paid Friday at the courthouse. Got case number, service set for next week. Clerk said Claire had 30 days to respond post-service. Sunday, I texted Emily, Claire's things ready. What day works? No emotion, just logistics. 3 hours later, pickup Tuesday, 6 p.m. No Claire contact needed. Closed my binder, checked my list, $4,350 in refunds pending, $1,247 claim filed, property ready, contacts updated, locks changed, accounts secured. For weeks to untangle 3 years. Not bad for someone who lacks ambition. Phone in the drawer, back to the garage. Challenger brakes needed my focus. Update 3. Harassment hit Thursday, 2 days after Claire's pickup. Texts from unknown numbers, Pittsburgh, Philly, Ohio. Screenshots saved, numbers blocked. Thursday, everyone knows you're petty. Friday, Nathan treats me like a queen. You never appreciated me. Saturday, told work about your tantrum. They think you're childish. Sunday, ignore me, but you'll never find better. Save to a time-stamped folder. Textbook manipulation. Gossip filtered back. Mutual friend said I abandoned Claire at dinner, stole the ring, dodged my wedding costs. She omitted her affair, the humiliation, her debt. Convenient. Wednesday, workplace incident. Leaving the yard at 5:45 p.m., security said Claire parked in visitor parking, tried entering when she saw my truck. Claimed she was my fiancé, needed belongings from my work truck for a family emergency. Lie, her 2 boxes were gone. Logged it, called non-emergency police. Gave contact patterns, incident number, requested a case file. Officer, your documentation's gold, dates, times, details. Keep it up. Advised logging every incident, calling during events to track escalation. Nathan intel dropped 2 weeks later via a mutual friend. Not a random friend, they'd been hooking up for 8 months, predating our venue contract. Claire posted private Instagram photos with him while playing devoted fiancé publicly. Nathan's wife found messages from March. Claire griped about pretending to be happy with someone boring, planning a wedding she didn't want. She asked Nathan to help her exit without looking bad. Not a passionate fling, a calculated escape with a backup. Diabolical. Nathan's wife called Claire's real estate office after finding photos from a sick grandmother trip to Cleveland. Claire charged the hotel to our joint card, lied about it. Nathan bailed after his wife confronted him, saying their fling wasn't worth his marriage. Claire lost her side piece and fiancé in a week, fueling her harassment. Her king was a jester who fled when stakes got real. I stuck to my routine, boxing twice weekly, Markov tweaking my guard. Challenger progress, brake lines run along frame rails, wiring harness rebuilt with proper gauge wire, labeled circuits. Motion-activated floodlight caught 4 drive-bys that month, logged with dates, times, duration. Mid-November, police suggested a protection order if things escalated. Not there yet, but my log grew thicker. Claire's life crumbled, mine held steady. Refunds processed, court date set for early December, Challenger shaping up. 2 months ago, I planned a wedding. Now, I documented harassment and rebuilt a muscle car. Friday, the light triggered 3 times, 9:30 to 10:15 p.m. Silver Honda, slow passes, Pennsylvania tags KDJ 4397. Logged it, closed the notebook. Maybe it was time to say yes to new things. Laura from Parts needed help moving Camaro transmission components that weekend. Update 4. Saturday, 7 a.m., Route 19 salvage yard. Pittsburgh's morning fog hung low, the kind that sticks to your jacket. Laura was there, debating gear ratios for her 69 Camaro Z/28 with the yard owner. Her specs were in a spiral notebook, precise combos for her rear-end ratio. The T56 transmission, 150 pounds with bell housing, was a beast. We loaded it with moving blankets, strapped it tight, no scratched cases, no damaged threads. Laura saw my documentation folder on my passenger seat, didn't ask questions. I appreciated that. Driving back, she talked about her 14-month Camaro project, rebuilt 350 V8, sorted suspension, tired automatic begging for a manual swap. Her hands moved like she was shifting gears just talking about it. Want to see my project? I asked. Her truck followed to my driveway, gravel crunching under tires. The Challenger sat in the garage, hood up, brake lines gleaming. Laura traced a line along the frame rail. Smart routing. Accounts for suspension travel. 2 inches each direction, full lock, plus bump stop clearance. We talked tech for 15 minutes, torque specs, hydraulic fluid weights, no fluff. She knew her tools, didn't need me to play hero. Ryan texted about go-karts next weekend in the South Hills, Real racing carts, 20 horsepower, not bumper car nonsense. Ray's group, Saturday, 6 p.m., I told Laura. Join if you want. What kind of go-karts? Knowing Ryan, too much speed, not enough guardrails. She laughed, a sharp, genuine sound. Sounds dangerous. What time? Added her to the group chat. Tuesday, leaving work, I spotted the silver Honda 3 blocks from the yard. KDJ 4397, creeping like a bad stakeout. Logged it. Friday, Laura confirmed for go-karts. Ryan sold her on the legit racing experience. Fair warning, she texted, I'm competitive with anything on wheels. Update 5. Go-kart facility in Mount Oliver, tucked behind a strip mall, quarter-mile track, concrete barriers, 20 Rotax-powered carts. Signed waivers, got helmets, racing harnesses. The carts were serious, responsive steering, seats you could adjust for weight distribution. Laura nailed the racing line by lap 3, leaning into corners like she was born on a track. Ryan provided commentary, that guy's braking too early, he's choking the apex. 15 minutes in, voices erupted from the pit. Claire's voice sliced through engine whine. I pulled into the pit lane, killed my cart. Ryan and Laura followed, yanking off helmets. Claire argued with staff, demanding pit access, pointing at us. She'd tailed us here. We're leaving, I said, heading to equipment return. Claire shoved past a staffer, ranting, you're parading with new people, embarrassing me. She grabbed for my helmet, I sidestepped. She lunged again, nails catching the face shield. The helmet hit concrete, shell cracked with a sickening snap. Supervisor swooped in, inspected the damage, demanded Claire's ID and contact. She refused ID, gave a number. He logged it, citing her waiver for equipment damage. "Ma'am, you're billed for replacement and must leave." Ryan, arms crossed, "Congrats, Claire. Lifetime go-kart ban. A new low." Security handed her a trespass notice. Manager gave me the incident report, confirmed cameras caught it. Unpaid invoices would hit collections. "Crystal clear," I told Claire. "We're done. Show up again, you'll regret it." 20 minutes later, we were back racing. Laura smoked the final lap, Ryan critiqued everyone's braking. I logged the incident at home. For months of documented escalation, texts, drive-bys, workplace stunt, now a cracked helmet. The pattern was ironclad. Update 6. Small claims hearing, Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. I arrived 20 minutes early, binder in hand, evidence tabbed like a battle plan. Claire showed at 9:25, no lawyer, clutching a folder that screamed last minute. Magistrate called us at 9:35. I laid out wedding expenses, cited our 50-50 text agreement, detailed non-refundable costs, $1,247 plus $78 filing fee. Claire argued I canceled unilaterally, shouldn't know costs I incurred. Magistrate asked for evidence disputing the agreement or amounts. She had nothing, just a weak story about misunderstandings. Judgment for plaintiff, $1,325. Stamped order, 15-minute testimony, 5-minute deliberation. 3 years boiled down to contract law and receipts. Claire paid within 15 days. Go-kart invoice settled too. Surveillance stopped post-court. Legal channels and documentation worked. The challengers rebuilt 340 from Butler County went in the week before court. First startup, mid-December, Saturday morning. The exhaust growled like a waking beast, vibrations rattling my chest. I stood in the garage, grease on my knuckles, grinning like a kid. Update 7. 3 weeks post-hearing, 9 p.m., garage. Laura helped install Challenger seat covers, her hand steady with a torque wrench. The motion light triggered, a car door slammed. Claire stumbled into the glow, drunk, in pajama pants and a hoodie, hair like she'd slept in her car. She reeked of cheap whiskey, clutching a half-empty can. "There you are," she slurred, pointing. "Living your sad garage life?" Laura raised an eyebrow, kept bolting the seat. Claire's eyes locked on her. "Moved on to some random woman?" Laura laughed, sharp and unbothered. "Lady, I've rebuilt more engines than you've had hot dinners. I'm not the problem." Claire swayed, took a swig, nearly fell. "You think you're smart with your court games and stupid car? I'm here to tell you you're a pathetic loser." I dialed 911. "You're drunk, trespassing, violating last month's warning." "Case number?" Claire shrieked. "You have a case number for me? What kind of psycho are you?" Laura looked up. "The kind who documents properly. Try it sometime." "Nobody asked you." Claire snapped. Laura stood, wrench in hand, 5 feet 4 inches but radiating steel. "What did you say?" Claire stumbled back, her height advantage meaningless. Cop car rolled in, lights flashing, no siren. 2 officers approached. "Trespassing situation?" I handed my log, summarized the history, texts, drive-bys, go-kart stunt, now this. Officer scanned pages, nodded. "Ma'am, you been drinking?" Claire hid the can. "I just want closure." "By showing up drunk at 9 p.m., yelling?" "He ruined my life," she screamed. "Laura, your life's messed up because you cheated on the guy paying for your wedding. That's consequences. You don't know me. I know you're drunk in someone's garage, yelling at people ignoring you." The officer bit back a laugh. Field sobriety test, Claire couldn't walk straight, touch her nose, or get past M. Breathalyzer confirmed she was double the legal limit. Under arrest for trespassing, public intoxication. "Handcuffed," she sobbed, "this is his fault. He abandoned me." Officer to me, "Domestic's messy, but your log made this clean. She'll spend the night in county, court date tomorrow." After they left, Laura and I stood by the Challenger's idle, its rumble steady as my pulse. "Well," she said, torquing a bolt, "that was a show." "Yep. Crazy woman." "Test drive?" We cruised Pittsburgh's backstreets, windows down, 340 growling through the exhaust. Streetlights flickered off the Mon River, the city alive but quiet. The car ran like it was born for it. Final update. 2 months later, the dust settled. Claire's life imploded spectacularly. After the arrest, word spread through Pittsburgh's tight-knit circles. Mutual friends pieced it together, the affair, the public humiliation, her drunk garage stunt. Nathan's wife went public on social media, not naming Claire but dropping enough details to tank her real estate career. Clients ditched her. Nobody trusts a realtor who lies about sick grandmother trips. Nathan ghosted her after his wife's post, unwilling to risk his cushy finance job. Claire tried restarting with a new Instagram, posting teary apologies about toxic exes and reclaiming her truth. It flopped. Her old followers didn't migrate, and the industry blacklisted her. Last I heard, she moved back with her parents in Butler, working as a cashier at a gas station. The woman who curated a fantasy life now scans energy drinks for truckers. Poetic. My life? A renaissance. The Challenger's interior is nearly done, new seat covers, rewired dash, polished chrome. I took it to a car show in Greensburg last weekend, parked it under sodium lights, hood up, 340 gleaming. Gearheads swarmed, asking about the build. Laura stood beside me, tossing in specs about the suspension travel I'd overlooked. She's not just along for the ride, she gets it. The go-kart night sparked something. Laura's in Ryan's group chat now, planning a drift event next month. She's competitive, sharp, and doesn't need me to fix her problems. We spent last Saturday at her garage, swapping her Camaro's transmission. Her hands were as greasy as mine, her torque wrench as steady. We talked gear ratios over cheap beer, the Mon River glinting outside her window. No drama, just two people who respect the work. Ryan's still my rock. He checked my court evidence like a general prepping for war. His divorce taught him what betrayal looks like, and he made damn sure I didn't repeat his mistakes. He's pushing me to show the Challenger at a bigger meet in Ohio next spring. Finish the paint first, he says. Plum crazy purple or nothing. He's not wrong. The binder's in a drawer now, case closed. Refunds cleared, $4,350 back. Court judgment, $1,325 paid. Claire's stuff gone, locks changed, accounts mine. Her, I'll forget you in a week, became her chasing me with texts, drive-bys, and a drunken meltdown. She didn't forget, she unraveled. Her family's quiet now. Emily texted once, asking if we could talk. I didn't reply. They backed Claire's ambush, they don't get a pass. The best revenge isn't the court win or Claire's arrest. It's the life I'm building. The Challenger roars, my shop hums, boxing keeps me sharp. Laura and I are planning a road trip to test the car's new suspension on backroads. Ryan's tagging along, probably with a dashcam for documentation. Claire wanted a coronation, I wanted a life. She got consequences. I got freedom. And a damn fine car.